Hi, little babies. It's Dr. Mayday. Hello to all you infidels and deplorables. You know who you are. The pro-American, mom, God, and apple pie people. The corrupt Biden administration is in deep trouble. You know, they're in trouble. You know, their foreign policy is shot. Ukraine has lost the war. But the U.S. and NATO allies are supplying them with long range missiles so they can strike deep in the heart of Russia. Well, if that happens, they hit Moscow or St. Petersburg. You can bet the Russians are going to retaliate against the Russian countries, Germany, France, England, U.S. even, They park a sub right off our coast and launch a missile in New York City or Washington, D.C., just to say, we can get you. There's no escaping us. We're the Russians. Now, the Republican led House of Representatives is setting up a pincer movement on the Biden administration. They're going after Joe hard. They're waiting on his bank records. They can have Hunter Biden come and testify under oath before Congress as they do their investigation of the corrupt, crooked Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the best president America has ever had, one of our greatest. He might even be better than George Washington. Not really. He's a corruptocrat who's taking advantage of the system to enrich himself. He's betrayed America and his fellow Americans just so he can get the money. He loves the money, so do I, but I don't go take bribes or extort people or loot the treasury. All his best friends in the defense industry, they love all the tall orders that the U.S. government's sending him. Well, today it's been reported that Turkey has deployed a 100 ship fleet leaving the Black Sea, transiting the Phosphorus Straits, uh, and then into the Mediterranean. They're going to back up Gaza. They're going to protect Gaza, which means that they'll go to war with the U.S. and Israel. Now, Turkey has a formidable military, largest military in Europe. They're highly disciplined troops. And so the last thing we need is Turkey meddling in the Israeli Gaza conflict. But this is just a harbinger of what's to come. Get Turkey in there and all the allied Arab states. Iran. Screw Iran. We'll never forget what they did to the hostages back in 1979. They kept them for 444 days. Jimmy Carter sent a failed rescue mission into the desert. The helicopters crashed. The rescue mission was aborted. It was just a debacle. A debacle. Now, what else is going on is Israel's pummeled northern Gaza so bad that it's turned into rubble. It destroyed over 100,000 apartments, many buildings. The streets are just rubble. And the whole thing is starting to look pretty bad. But it's ironic actually. Gaza was like an open air concentration camp. Now the Jews had experience with concentration camps. When the Nazis, you know, herded them in there and then gassed them. I mean, Israel's not gassing the Palestinians in Gaza, but they have them so tightly confined they can't leave without special permission by the Israeli authorities. So I mean, it's bad. I mean, it doesn't seem right. That's for sure. Now, these corruptocrats in Washington, they want war with Russia, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't think about the long term consequences and the blowback. So, I mean, we're in deep doo doo. Our Navy is stretched thin. You know, one carrier, a group in the Persian Gulf, one in the Mediterranean. I think we got one over in Korea, and I don't know who we have down in off the coast of Taiwan in that general area. But I'm sure there's ships and planes down there that do routine patrols. I saw this week where a Chinese jet fighter pilot came within 10 feet of a B-52. Oh, what a hot dog pilot. Look at me. I'm a Chinese ace. I can fly right next to a B-52, get 10 feet away, and give the finger to the B-52 pilot. So anyway, everybody is all worked up. The aggression is amazing. No, what bothers me are these huge demonstrations and the anti-Jewish sentiment by these leftists. They don't want to live and let live. They want to kill and destroy the Jews. Now, why don't you just live and let live? I mean, they closed down the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City yesterday. A bunch of retailers had to lock their doors because the protesters were putting stickers up, these pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli stickers. They're slapping them on the windows of these businesses, and these business people were scared. They don't want these idiots, these psychotics coming into the store and wrecking things. So they did the right move by locking up. But are we going to tolerate this? 100,000 people marching against Israel in London, England, and France, and Germany, and the U.S. These leftist professors at these universities and colleges, dissing Israel and spouting out that pro-Hamas propaganda, and it's a goddamn shame, to tell you the truth. I want to see this Biden administration go down hard. When they impeached Trump, they did it on fabricated allegations and evidence. There was nothing true about it. That's why the Senate voted not to impeach Trumpy, because it's all BS. But here, we have a chance to really hammer down on Joe Biden. He's left a paper trail long and wide. When they get to his bank records, they're going to see a whole pattern of huge deposits into his bank account. So, they put those 170 suspicious activity reports on the Biden's financial transactions, and they'll need to be investigated. Then the story comes out that the FBI had all these informants who, gave statements and informed the FBI about the corruption Biden was taking. They didn't take any action on the guy. They covered for him. Now, if you're a nonpartisan law enforcement agency, you're going to go investigate it until the ends of the earth, until you find out what's going on. So that's where they misstepped and, they fell over themselves because they become so politicized. The thing about Biden is he's not going to be able to run in the next election. He's going to be removed from office. Otherwise, he'll have an accident, fall down, break his hip, or he'll go haywire. You'll see him on TV, and he just starts babbling, gobbledygook, babbling like a little baby. And people will go, "Wow, this guy's shot. Can't have him as president. We're woe woefully screwed. He's left us defenseless against our enemies. In this whole southern border situation, what a mess. Over 10 million illegal invaders coming into this country. We have no idea who they are. Let them slip through. And, they got the South American organized crime elements coming into the big cities in Texas, Chicago, Miami, and they're carrying out their organized crime, extortion, kidnapping, all that crap. And so we got a whole new organized crime element that came through the southern border. Criminals, organized crime. They'll partner with the cartels and really cause havoc here in America. And bet your butt that there's a bunch of sleeper cells ready to cause a lot of horrible things here in America once they get the okay from their bosses overseas. So, I've been warning you. It's bad. Nobody believes me, though. But I'm warning you again. We're in for a terrible storm caused by our enemies. And it's only because of the Biden administration's foreign policy and stirring up the hornet's nest. And they left well enough alone and actually negotiated and had treaties and everybody could benefit from. They would be much better off. But I mean, this insanity of stirring up the hornet's nest, busting open the hornet's nest, and you get a bunch of hornets coming out looking to sting you. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, these people are nuts. So I want to see Biden go down. If they have to impeach him, impeach him. Get Hunter Biden in there before Congress to testify under oath and ask him all the direct questions you can think of. Who's the big guy? Did he benefit from your financial transactions? Where did you get the money from? Who paid you? For what? They're all linked to Joe Biden. And Joe Biden has to come down. He's got to be taken down. He's the most dangerous president we've had in office ever. Because he's incapable of rational thinking. And he's a terrible leader who's going to get us all messed up. He's left us defenseless. He's ruined the economy. We've got 11 million children going hungry every night, They haven't anything to eat or have maybe a couple of saltine crackers during the day. These poor kids, these poverty-stricken kids, are going to bed hungry. 11 million. We've got about 40 million Americans who are in poverty, under the poverty line. And how are they getting by? I mean, when you're poverty-stricken, it's pretty bad. I mean, you got no money for nothing. And, you're relying on government handouts and, just survival. Maybe you can get a can of pork and beans and, make some flatbread out of flour and salt and water. Hardtack. Maybe they're living on hardtack, and at least to keep you alive. That's what the Civil War soldiers used to eat all the time. They'd have a pouch full of hardtack that would keep them alive when they're in the field. All it was flour and salt and water baked into little biscuits. And they would carry it with them just to survive. It's we're going to turn 37 million people into a bunch of hardtack dependents. And that's all they can afford to eat. And get some flour or salt in the water and cook them up. Make hardtack. Live on that for a couple of years. Well, these wealthy people are eating steak and lobsters and having lemon meringue pie. So, I mean, it's not a pretty situation. But all this has to change. And the only way it's going to change is when America gets a change of leadership in, votes in a Republican Congress, get a Republican president who's going to work together for the betterment of the country, because the Democrats have proved their failed leadership and have screwed things up so bad that we're in deep, deep trouble. So we're going to eliminate these guys. Get rid of them. Clean sweep. Fresh start. All right, little babies. That's Dr. Maida's opinion for today. I love you, and you love me. I know that. So leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. All right, bye-bye.